can start. Where did you hear of the seminar or the webinar?
Hello?
Yes, I'm asking, where did you hear of the webinar?
Oh, oh, from Abraham.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
So we'll start in a few minutes. We're just going to give them about 5 minutes and then we start.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, thank you for joining. Come on, thank you for joining.
Yeah, glad to be
Yeah,
here.
good morning.
Hi, Kelechuku. Hi, Usman. Thank you for joining. Another 3 minutes, we're going to allow
Morning, Mr.
people
Emmanuel.
come and then we can start.
How you doing, sir? My pleasure. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm well, thank you. And you, how are you?
Did you hear me? Sir,
Yes,
I
I
said, how
did.
are you doing?
I said I'm well, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Keke. I hope you're well.
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
This is the first space I'm joining, so
Oh, we're glad to have you. This is the second one we've had. We're going to make it like a monthly stuff and maybe twice a month.
okay.
Yes. So we're glad to have you. I hope you get
Okay.
value and find what you're looking for.
I hope so as well. Yeah.
Okay. Without wasting much time, I believe other people will join us as we continue. So, welcome to Comet Minds Space. I should put on my camera. I'm not looking too good. I've had a very stressful week, so pardon my face if I don't look too presentable. But welcome to Comet Minds Space. It's a webinar in our community. We have a community, and that community is tailored towards personal growth, professional growth, and business growth and development. So, in our community, we took a poll, or better still, we went around asking what the problem was for why they didn't engage as much. And besides not engaging as much, what problems they were facing in their personal and professional lives. And we got a few answers that necessitated us to take this action. And we are having a series of webinars where people can learn how best they can develop themselves personally, professionally, and business wise. So, thank you for joining us. My name is Aman Alkali, and I might have interfaced with each one of you at some point. But if I haven't interfaced with you before, I'm glad we're getting to meet through this medium, or I'd say this podium. So, yes, we have a community manager here. His name is Kelechuku Young. If the Comet Minds community is something that interests you, you can just tap into the chat box and, you know, state your interest. Kelechuku will get across to you, most likely with the link or with a number you can contact, so he adds you to the group. Without much ado, we can then go into our main talk for today. So, last week we handled communicating effectively, and in that session, we handled how people could express themselves and how they could sell their products or their business. Now, this week, we're looking at networking effectively. We're looking at how best you can develop yourself in terms of networking. We're thinking. So if you have a business, if you as a person you have skills, how do you network yourself? How do you grow yourself? How do you meet other people and sell whatever you're doing? And networking, I believe you can all agree, opens up opportunities. So I'm hopeful that after this session, you would be able to take one or two things, implement them, and get to open up opportunities for yourself. Nafisa, you're welcome. So now we go into the whole idea straight. The first thing we're going to discuss is how to meet other people. Okay, and yes, just like we always say, even from the past week, this won't take time. It's just intended to be a 40-minute webinar, questions and answers, and as interactive as possible, and then we go, because we know time is of importance. So please just also be looking at your clocks. If we are taking much time, you can draw our attention, but Kelechiku is there on hand to give us that prompt as well. So, deep into the matter or diving in straight, the first thing that I usually advise, especially when it comes to networking, is to have an open mind. An open mind. That's what I advise. So, when it comes to networking, what is networking? It's basically meeting other people. But in terms of meeting other people, it's also letting other people know what you do and then seeing what value can be exchanged between you and that person you're meeting. That's networking. It's not as complex as most people make it seem or think. That's one. So keep an open mind. Then, secondly, before we dive into the main thing, one thing people also think about networking is that what if I walk up to this person, or what if I meet this person and this person tells me no, or this person rejects me? So the thing about rejection is, just take it that at that point in time, you and that person don't understand each other. Or at that point in time, you and that person don't have business to do together, or you don't have anything common to share. And then you take it and move on. Okay? Somebody telling you no doesn't mean that they hate you, doesn't mean that you're not good enough, doesn't mean that they are the last people you're going to meet on earth. All right. So for networking, keep an open mind and also learn to take no's. Okay. So let's dive into it. Meeting other people. How do you get to meet other people? So for each of these, I have 4 points I'm going to share with you on meeting other people, on networking, and on time management. So now, to meet other people, the first thing is you need to learn to step out of your comfort zone. You need to be open to new environments, learn to go to events and experiences that can introduce you to new people. Okay? Now, the fancy word that a lot of people have become common with is I am an introvert. How many of you are introverts here? You can respond. How many of you are introverts? Or you can raise your hands if you so wish.
I used to be an introvert
Ah,
until until I saw a lot of opportunities passing me by because I was not bold enough
wonderful.
to yeah to actually confront those persons that with those opportunities that I wanted to have. So as time went by, I was able to evolve to becoming maybe an ambivert, so to say.
Okay.
If I thought there is any word like that.
Oh yes, there's an
But
ambivert. There's an ambivert.
okay,
Okay,
but as time went by, I'm still trying to improve on my houseworthness. So
that's good.
yeah.
That's good. Emanuela, you raised your hand. You're an introvert, or you used to be like Keke. Okay, I'm sure one way or another we would all relate to being introverts. In fact, myself, at home, my people say I'm like the most solitary person they know, you know? But it's all about energy. And I'm saying this to say that being an introvert should not lock you up so that you are not connected to opportunities. It's okay to be an introvert, but being an introvert does not mean you can't go to new places, you know. It doesn't mean you should lock up yourself in the room and expect that a miracle would happen. So, from Keke's experience now, he has shared that he used to be an introvert. He saw opportunities passing him by. And because of that, he needed to take a new approach, become an ambivert. An ambivert is someone who is in between an introvert and an extrovert, right? But it's not really about categorizing yourself as to being an introvert, ambivert, or extrovert. It's more about learning to go to new places, events especially. Find events that tally with you, find events that are good for you, and go there. It means stepping out of your comfort zone. All right. Aside events, another way you can get to meet other people is leveraging social platforms and communities, social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Facebook, places like that. It's important that, which again will bring us to personal branding. We're going to have a session for personal branding. Most likely, our next session will be on personal branding. But when it comes to social media platforms, it's important that you use them not just for scrolling, you use them not just for skit and content, but you use them to also position yourself to get opportunities. You use them to position yourself to meet people. All right. I'll give you an instance. Sometime in 2021, I took my live on LinkedIn seriously. It was from 2020 I began to understand the power of LinkedIn. And in 2021, I took my life on LinkedIn seriously. And taking my life on LinkedIn seriously, then I had started to work with African leadership. It was a Pan African and international brand that covered Africa, a magazine. So I started to work with them as a writer. And at the time, I would, write my articles, post on LinkedIn. A few persons would comment, some would like. But through that, I got the opportunity to meet someone that until today, I haven't seen him face to face, but until today, we have a cordial relationship. And he recommends me for jobs. He's in Denmark and he recommends me for jobs. Now, how did that happen? Using the social media platform LinkedIn, I was able to put out what I do. And then he saw what I did, read an article, and he was wowed. And he was like, okay, let's work together. All right. And it has given me benefits and opportunities that I'm only thankful for up until now. So, your social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, you need to learn to leverage them for opportunities to meet other people. Okay. In fact, when it comes to connecting with people on social media, there's a way you cater people, you segment the people that you reach out to. Of course, there are people you aspire to, there are people you like in life. The truth is, if you don't connect with them there and you just limit yourself to maybe a particular circle of persons that don't have value to offer you, there's no way growth and development will come at the way you're looking at it. All right. So, also leverage social media platforms to meet people. Then, I would say this: to meet other people, you need to learn to be approachable and confident. I say to be approachable and confident because sometimes it's not really about you meeting other people, but about other people meeting you. Okay? So you go to an event and someone comes up to you to say, "Hi, how are you?" Right? And the next thing is you just tell the person, "Fine." It doesn't make sense because the person would be like, If I'm receiving one word answers from this person, if I'm receiving one liners, then this person doesn't want a conversation. But when you're approachable and someone tells you, "Hi, how are you?" You're like, "Hello, I'm fine. And you? How are you doing?" Right? It then allows the person to know that, okay, this person is open to talk. And when they ask you, "What do you do?" and you then delve into, okay, I am, for instance, I'm a lawyer. And as a lawyer, I advocate for people, I do corporate law, I do tech law. It gives the person the mindset that, okay, this person is inviting, let's get to talk, let's see what we can do together. But if you're not approachable and you don't sound confident while they're talking with you, they would think that you don't want a conversation and they're bothering you. Someone like me, I think that moment I begin to, "Hi, how are you?" and you are a bit closed off, I just leave so that it doesn't become an awkward situation. All right. So, how do you get to meet other people? I'm going to recap the points. One, step out of your comfort zone, go to new environments, go to events, you know, try to find out what's happening. All right. What experience can you get when you go to such events that tally with you especially? Then, secondly, leverage social media platforms. Okay, develop your mindset to the social media platforms. Let it not be that the only thing you're doing is scrolling, or just checking it for entertainment. But you can also use it to meet new people that can help you. I'll give you another instance on social media. The writer of Independence, Sarah Ladikbo Manyika, at the time that I read Independence, I was just thinking to put together my very first compilation of short stories. And after reading Independence, I just went on Facebook. I found her page, and I wrote her that I just finished reading your book. It was awesome. Thank you for putting out something good. I have the mindset of creating something by way of a short story compilation. I did it. I didn't expect that she would respond, but she did, and she wished me luck. And I found it to be a source of encouragement because she was a published author at the time. And today I can say I'm also a published author, right? So the little steps you take by connecting with the people you aspire or you look up to on social media can also help you, to advise you to do so. Then also be approachable and confident. And lastly, you need to master the art of small talk. Let me not say master the art of small talk, but you need to know how to engage or initiate conversations. Okay? And I say that because a lot of us, let me not say a lot of us, but sometimes people don't know how to engage, start conversations and keep it engaging. But it's something that you can learn and you need to know how to. Last week, I made a recommendation on two books, which I'll also recommend to you for you to learn how to meet other people this week. And those two books are: one, How to Influence People, all right, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. And secondly, How to Talk to Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere, Larry King. How to talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Okay? Now, the fact that you're meeting other people and that you should learn how to engage in conversations does not mean you should be a talkative. No. You need to learn to balance it, to moderate it. Okay? You need to learn when people want you to engage and when they don't want you to engage. I'll give you an instance. When I'm at events and I'm looking at someone, usually it's the eyes that tell me, okay, this person wants to talk. So I could look at someone, they look back at me, and when we look at each other like that, you would know if the eyes are inviting or not. Or you would know if this person is open for a conversation or to a conversation at that point or not. That's one way of knowing. Secondly, you could just walk up to them and be like, "Hi, I'm new to this event. My name is so so so. Are you a part of this community?" If the person is a part of the community, of course they'll tell you. If the person is not a part of the community, they'll tell you, "No, it's my first time here as well." And before you know it, when someone says something like that, you're like, okay, I have a partner, I have a friend. I bet you that can give them a smile. And then conversation moves on from there. So that's it when it comes to meeting other people. Learn to step out of your comfort zone, go to events, find environments, communities you can join. Then, secondly, learn to leverage social media platforms. Okay? Then be approachable and confident, and also learn to engage in conversations. That's it about meeting other people. The next step you take after you meet other people is you learn to network, which leads us to the second thing we're going to discuss today: networking. So, what is networking? Like I told you earlier, networking is meeting someone and being able to exchange value with that person, showing that person that you have importance to give them, while they also show you or you also look for the importance they can offer you. That's networking. Okay. Now, I don't know what your idea of networking is, but I would love to hear from each one of you what you think networking is so that we can put them together and see where we have a common ground. So, let's start with you, Nafisa. What do you think networking is? Hi, Nafisa. Are you there? Okay. Abraham, are you there?
Okay, good morning. I don't know if you can
Okay,
hear me.
Nafisa, yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I hope it's not too shaky because I'm actually working.
Oh, okay.
Um, for me, networking is like more than just meeting people.
Hmm.
It's connecting with people, trying to understand what they do, and like just trying to understand what they do, and maybe what value they can give. So it's more like meeting, connecting, and understanding yourselves.
That's great.
That's for me.
That's great. That's a wonderful way to put it. So it resonates with what was said earlier. Abraham, are you there? Thank you, Nafisa.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning. Can you tell us what your idea of networking is? And
Okay, to me, networking is being able to kind of connect with people, share opportunities with them, and like the previous person said, share values. I think that's what networking is to me.
oh, that's great. Okay, we have a central point. Okay, Kome, would you want to share what you think networking is? Hi, Kome. Are you there? Hi, Kome. We can't hear you. Okay, I think your network or your sound is having problems. Keke, would you want to share with us what you think networking is?
I think the rest of the guys have already said most of what it's all about. Networking is all about sharing value with one another. Though we meet people on a daily basis, but if you don't share value with one another, I don't think the essence of networking has been fully met. So networking has to do with meeting and sharing value with one another
Hmm.
in the context of what this conversation is all about. So I think pretty much that's what I think it's all about.
Yes, that's true. And thank you all for answering as best as you could. So, just like we did with meeting on the other people, there are 4 points I'd like to share with you when it comes to networking. Now, we've discussed that value is a central part of networking. So, in networking, you need to learn the art of giving before you take. Okay, you need to learn the art of giving before you take. Now, you don't expect that you just come to meet someone and by just asking the person, hello, what is your name? The person will now start telling you My name is Thomas Christopher, and I am this, I'm that. Then the person will start telling you everything about him or himself, right? You need to learn. Okay, what's your name? My name is Thomas. Or even before they offer their name, you can be like, hello, my name is Amana. What's your name? Now, for you to say your name is Amana, you've given something. You've let them know that, okay, I'm willing to give you my name. Now I want to know your name. And they'll tell you, okay, it's fair. It's a fair trade. You've given, so I'm going to give you back. Then you proceed. I'm a lawyer. What do you do? You've given them the fact that you're a lawyer. It then lets them know that, okay, this is going to be an open conversation. That's networking. Now, as a lawyer, let's say I need to do business with such person, and he tells me that he owns a business, maybe a consulting firm. He owns it, and I'm like, oh, you own a consulting firm. Do you have agreements that you go into with your clients? And he says, yes, we do. And then the next thing I'll target as a lawyer is I'll tell him, well, since you have agreements you do with your clients, let me go through those agreements or take a look at a few of the agreements you've done and give you the best practices that you can incorporate for free. At that point, I've gotten his attention. Now, who wouldn't want a lawyer to go through their agreements, at least the first agreements they've done, for free? I've given something. And at that point, after looking over those agreements, it means I'm inviting him for business. If I can give him good advice, I can show him the value I have, then it becomes imperative that next time I tell him, if you want to do your agreement, we can work out something. Now he'll be willing, of course, to give me such business. So you need to learn to give before you take. Then, when you network with people, when you meet people at events and you've shared contacts, you need to learn to follow up and stay in touch. Some of the people you meet today or you meet at an event today may not give you immediate value. That's the truth. Sometimes it takes as long as 2, 3 months. But you need to learn to identify what you want from them. You need to learn to identify the areas that both of you have synergies and at least check up once in a while. Time to time you could go like, hi, how are you? How's business? I'm just checking up to see if all is well with you. You know, I have this habit of whenever I'm going by through maybe a client area and I remember that that client is around there, I just pick up my phone and call. Hi, how are you? Are you fine? How's business? You know? So most times I tie my people to locations. And the moment I tie them to such locations, it becomes easy that whenever I'm in such location, I can remember to call them. So learn to follow up. That's just one of the tricks, okay? But learn to follow up and stay in touch. Then you need to attend industry specific events when you want to network. Attend industry specific events. You can attend any other event, no problem. But even when it comes to business and your professional growth, identify your industry specific events and network there, especially for people that are in jobs and you want to work maybe in a job environment. If you want to work under an employer, you can then attend industry specific events. But what I always advise business people is attend events. Just have an open mind, attend events and meet the different kind of people, especially where your service is required. Okay? And I'll tell you this for free. There is no how, which is the fourth point, there is no how your networking would be greatly effective without a personal brand. So you need to focus on your personal brand. Build a strong personal brand for yourself. Personal brand does not mean having followers. Having followers is an added advantage. But personal brand means a consistent message across all your social media and even a consistent message with yourself as a person. If they ask you, who are you? You can say, I am so, so, so. If they ask you, what do? You can say, I do this and this and this. I'll give you an example. Who am I? I am Amana Alkali. What do I do? I am a lawyer. I am a writer, or you could say journalist, right? And I also advise businesses on how to grow. You understand? So you need to identify your niche areas. You need to identify the places where growth is important for you. And when you identify the places where growth is important for you, that's how you build a personal brand. I'm going to have a session on personal branding and how you can develop that personal brand. But another thing that I would advise is go on your own to places like YouTube. When you're on social media, when you're on Facebook, you can type on the search bar personal brand, and it's going to give you materials, it's going to give you links or maybe pages of people that talk about personal branding. That's how you increase your knowledge. You can go on Google and type personal branding, and you're going to see how best you can develop a personal brand to fit. Now, networking becomes more effective when you have a personal brand because people would have something to attach to you. Okay? It means people would know that when they go on social media and they open your social media, they'll know that yes, this person is a serious person. Regardless of what you do, if you do business, have a strong personal brand around your business. If you have skills, have a strong personal brand around your skills. So I've been opportune to work as a recruiter for some organizations. Organizations I have worked for, I have I have recruited on their behalf. And one very important thing, or better still, I'd say one important thing that we look out for in terms of recruitment is by the time someone sends their CV, most times we go to their social media because you want to know the kind of person you are having on your team. You want to know the thoughts of that person. That's why, again, it's advisable. It's not just every social media trend you jump on. Okay, you can be authentic, you can put out your thoughts, nobody's telling you to not be yourself, but even when you're putting out your thoughts, put it out in a mature way, put it out in a way that has clarity, that you don't need to insult another person to do so. All right, you can have subtle takes, you can have thoughts that does not resonate with everybody, but there's a way you put it, and whoever it is that is reading it will even respect you. And that's how you build your personal brand. That's how you develop yourself. That's how you grow. And most importantly, that's how you get to network. Because when you have a personal brand, people would even be the ones to reach out to you. Sometimes you don't need to do the whole reaching out thing. A strong personal brand will tell them that this is someone I can work with. So why not work with this person? All right. So that's it when it comes to meeting people and networking. For networking, I'm going to recap everything that we've discussed. Number one, you should learn when you meet people to give before you take. Number two, when you meet people, learn to follow up and stay in touch. Number three, attend events, industry specific events for situations where maybe you want an employment and you're looking for the top shots in your industry, or you're looking for peers in your industry that you can speak with to get into where they are. For instance, if you're in the oil and gas sector and you want to get into Shell or Wando, NLNG, you go to those industry specific events where the top shots are or those people are, and you network there. But if you're a business owner, you should be open minded and go to events, general events where you know your services, your business services are needed, and you can talk to people about your business service there. Okay. Then, lastly, you build your personal brand. Another good thing about building your personal brand, or another thing you can do when it comes to building your personal brand, is you make sure that your business, for instance, as a business owner, has its own business card. So when you have a business card, it's a strong way of also putting yourself out there as a personal brand owner. Now, that being said, we're going to move to the third item, which is time management. I hope you are taking notes. It would help if you take notes. And if you have questions, please put them down together, or you can put them in the chat box so that when it's time for questions, you don't forget. So that when it's time for questions, we can just look at the chat box and then we can answer you. Very soon, we'll be going on to the questions. But even if you don't want the chat box, you can put down your question and then we'll have the floor open for questions in a bit. Time management. This is just by the way, it's something that we considered also from the response of the people in our group of our community. Now, for time management, I'll tell you this: it's not like we all have the hack to time management. It's an important part of life, but it's not everyone that has the hack to time management. And even when you have the hack, a few things can come and that you didn't plan for, and you get derailed. I'll give you an example. So I started this week optimistic, really optimistic, and I had planned everything I was going to do for the week. But by Wednesday, a client of mine had an issue with the EFCC, and that meant I had to just breeze into the EFCC, and it meant it took the whole of my day. Aside the EFCC, another situation came up with a media house that I worked with or that I work with, and it now became a situation of, you know, being at two places at the same time, and that meant strain on my part, and that meant my time management, whatever I had planned for the week, was out of the window. Regardless, I was able to get the main things that I needed to do done. And I say that because when it comes to time management, one thing is really, really important. And those are, in a list of the things you want to do, what is your priority? I think that's the first question you should always have when it comes to time management. What is your priority? So that word should become your friend, priority. The moment you have that word as your friend, you can handle time management, I believe. Because with that word priority or that question, what is my priority? You will be able to understand that there are times that you need to schedule a few things. So, in prioritizing whatever you have to do and you're scheduling them, you will know that the one that is most urgent comes first. That's your first priority. You'll know that the one that is important can come maybe second or middle, and you know that the one that's less important can come later. I'll give you an instance. So, as a lawyer, sometimes I have court. On any day I have court, I know that by 9 a.m., court is most important, and I have to do court first. So, any other meeting, any other thing I'm doing, I shift it to 12, I shift it to 1 because court is usually from 9 to 12. All right. But even if it extends past 12, I know court is my priority, then any other thing can follow. So that's on the one hand. Again, when you understand your priorities, you'll be able to eliminate time wasting, whether from people or from work. Okay? Whether from people, from work, from maybe mindless scrolling on social media. The moment you understand your priority, you'll know that, okay, I don't need this. This is what I need. And you'll be able to help yourself get better. And lastly, for time management, you need to learn the power of saying no. That's very important. The power of no. And I say that because at some point in life, you discover that you're being invited to a lot of places at the same time. You know, a friend be like, oh, there's this event we need to go to this evening, or there's this place, let's go to. Even if not your friend, people bring things your way and they're like, can you help me? Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? So even if it's not going out, it could be tasks that people hand over to you. Just make sure you don't take too much at once on your plate. You should learn and understand that there is a limit to the number of things that you can handle at a particular time. That's going to help you. So if what you can do a day is handle four tasks effectively. You can prioritize those four tasks and do them well, because what is worth doing is worth doing well. So when you're able to do them well, then you would be able to sit down and take on any other thing. Until you're able to increase your capacity, handle what you can handle at a particular point well enough so that you don't have a problem of overspilling or being stressed. Throughout last year, I was stressed. Not even majorly because of other people's work, but because I was handling a lot of things almost at the same time. I was here, I was there. I had a lot to deal with. I was traveling, and then it meant my body. It took a toll on my body. Breakdowns and all of that. And so, time management is important. Important in the sense that you need to learn what your priorities are. For me, it's still a journey that I'm hacking. It's still a journey that I'm trying to understand and get better at. Okay, and I believe if you set your mind to it, it's something you can achieve. All right. So with that, we come to the end of the session. We've discussed three main areas today. We've discussed meeting people, how to meet people. We've discussed networking. We've discussed time management. So the floor is open. If you have questions, you can put your questions in the chat box. If you have questions and you want to ask, you can raise your hand or mute your mic and ask your questions. Please feel free.
Okay. I have a question.
Okay, ask.
Yeah. So, do you happen to have a transcript of this webinar or something like a written material of it?
Are you asking for a recording of this?
Not a recording, like a text material of the
Okay,
webinar.
I can put together a text material and share with you if you would want that.
I would appreciate that.
I can do.
And and also to add, I mean, we are talking about networking, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So it's funny that for most participants of the webinar, we don't have our cameras on. I'm not saying, yeah, but we're talking about networking. So I mean, we should know each other at even physical levels. You
Okay,
understand?
so
So
now beyond the
for
question,
me,
beyond the question session,
yeah,
we're hoping
yes,
that at the end we're going to use the remaining 10 minutes, so everyone would put on their cameras, and or whoever wants to can put on their cameras, and then we introduce ourselves, because
all
that
right,
was that was the whole plan and idea. So thank you for bringing it up.
okay.
Yes.
But don't force some persons to put up their cameras
No, no,
because
not at all. Of course,
they might not,
it's at their convenience.
they might not be comfortable with it. You get
It's at their
it?
convenience. So that's
Yeah.
the idea.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any question? Do we have any questions?
Yes, please. I have a question.
Yes, you can ask.
Okay. Is any other person talking?
No, no one is talking. No one is talking. You can go ahead. Abraham, if you're there, you can go ahead. No one is talking.
Sorry, please. My network is giving me issues. My question is about time management.
Okay.
So let's say someone is, because you said we have to try to balance out everything, right?
Yes.
Rest, work, and all the other stuff.
Yes.
My whole question is now, there's this sense of urgency. Someone has a lot on his plate. And
Mm.
let's say your priorities stretch out and you are working on something and it covers a long time and you're not able to do the other things and you kind of burn yourself out. So how does one handle that? Because we also need to make out time for rest, just like you stated, because you mentioned you being stressed out last year, and also in the case of us having a lot on our plate and we have to kind of forfeit rest, what do we do in that case?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. It's not advisable you forfeit rest. Okay, you need to learn how to rest. And there's this table that I came across sometime, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I've forgotten most of the details, but it said you could arrange whatever you're doing into four places: into urgent, important, least urgent, least important. Okay, and when you arrange it in that way, the things that are urgent mean you need to do them immediately. They mean that whatever is urgent means that it needs hands-on approach, so you tackle it as soon as you can. Whatever is important means that you need to do it, but it's not time pressing as something that is urgent, so you can prioritize it as maybe the second or third thing you need to do. Whatever is least urgent is something that you know you can keep aside, and whatever is also least important is something that you know you can keep aside until a later time. Now, we don't advise that you keep least important and least urgent as something that is not that don't need time. Rather, we advise that you keep them for later and assign time to do them so that you do them earlier than they become problems. I hope that helps. Then for rest, you need to learn to rest. In fact, now I'm back to implementing my 10 p.m. rule. Usually I sleep by 10 p.m. to wake up 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and I'm able to do whatever I need to do. So it helps when you also yeah, include such rules for yourself. I hope that helps. If you need further buttressing, you can let me know.
Can I add to what you just said?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So for his question, I believe the answer to his question was also embedded in the time management option that you gave, because I believe his question has to do with prioritizing um, his activities on the scale of preference or on the scale of importance. You get. So I believe if at all he was listening attentively, sorry if it's coming somehow, would have been able to answer your question with that point, because it's all about the matter of priority. You can't do everything at the same time, because rest is also important. You know what they say? They say rest is an integral part of work, because you can't afford to burn yourself out, and eventually you are not even able to take care of yourself as a person. So it's really important to prioritize your activities on a scale of preference or on a scale of importance. So I believe this is also the reason why we should even have the text material, so we can go over them and you understand, imbibe them in our daily lives. So that's what I have to add.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for adding that contribution, and you're right too. So please, you can also just what I usually advise is from time to time, maybe on the weekends, you can sit down and take a stock of what you do and how best you can use your time. It helps because that way you can write down what's most important, what's least important, what's urgent, and what's least urgent. If you have further questions, you can text me or reach out to me. Who else has a question before we go to our networking session on this?
Sorry, wow, our ladies quiet.
Okay,
Our ladies in the house.
so I'll say this. I'll say this
Yeah.
before we do the session. I'll say that I understand that most times when we have such virtual sessions, people wouldn't want to talk. But one of the first things you need to do to conquer the fear of networking is you need to put yourself forth. It's important you learn how to do that. And most times when you're asked to ask, when you have questions and you need to ask questions, and you don't ask questions, you wouldn't have an answer to that question you're looking for, or maybe it wouldn't be tackled at that point it needs to be tackled. So please feel free. We are an open community at Comment Minds. Feel free, if you have questions you can ask, and if you want to join Comment Minds you can contact Kelechuku. He will drop his number so you can
Okay.
contact him. Or better still,
Okay.
if you can't contact Kelechuku, you can contact me. I'm dropping my number, and I would add you to the group. Then, if you have questions, you can drop them there as well, and most likely we answer you. Now we have little time left. We don't want to keep everyone here for the rest of the day. So, at this point, it's a call for you to open your cameras, and then we network. We can share what we do with each other and see how we can help each other grow. So, the networking session would last for about 5 to 6 minutes. Feel free to turn on your cameras, share your fine faces, and I'll go first while you turn on your
Okay.
cameras. Yes. So, I don't know. Of course, you should be well aware of who I am by now, but if you're not, after my introduction, I am Amana Alkali. I am a lawyer. I'm also the editor in chief of a magazine or media platform, if you would call it Napoleon News. And aside that, I do public speaking. It's nice to make your acquaintance, the acquaintance of everyone here. So please, you can take the stage, the rest of you. I'll call one after the other. Emanuela, please go next. Hi, Emanuela. You can introduce yourself and what you do. We can't hear you. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Manuela, you're muted.
Sorry. Good morning. My name is Manuela Alta. I'm a graduate of computer science, and I'm currently serving in Kogi State.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. So,
So,
what do you do? Do you have a
I've
skill or a business?
committed the mind.
Oh, yes. I mean, what do you do? Do you have a skill or a business you do? Okay, it seems she's having a problem with the sound. Hi, Abigail.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes, good morning, Abigail.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, we can hear you now, Emanuela. Abigail, please hold on. What do you do, Emanuela? She's gone back.
Hello, is it better?
Don't worry, we'll take you soon, Emanuela. Abigail, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm a baker. I'm also trying to perfect my tech skill of system analysis and project management.
Wonderful, wonderful. At least your network is better now. Okay, it's nice to
Yes,
meet you, Emanuela.
project management and system analysis. I'm a baker.
It's nice to meet you, Emanuela. It's nice to meet you. Okay, Abigail, you can go next. What do you do?
Um, I'm a geologist. Recent graduate from Gombe State University, and I'm serving in Bauchi State.
Oh, that's
I
good.
Yes, I work with a mineral processing plant. We process minerals and we also trade it by exporting it. So that's basically what we do.
No, that's great. It's nice to meet you, Abika. Keke, can we
So,
get to meet you?
Good morning once again.
Yes.
My name is Usman Enemona. I'm a digital marketer with May Champion Limited, a real estate firm in Abuja. We need to be precise. We are into buying and selling of real estate properties. We are also into project management. We are also into land banking and the rest of them. So personally, into writing as well, but not on a professional scale like my dear friend here, Akali Amana. So I hope to work on myself and sharpen my skills through his mentorship. So
It's
it's
nice.
really nice to meet everyone. Cheers.
It's nice to meet you. Okay. Abraham, can we get you? What do you do?
Okay, good morning once again, everyone. Abraham Akali. I'm a geologist by profession. I'm enthusiastic about energy transition and environmental geology. I'm also skilled with geographic information system, and I'm also building my tech skill at the moment, data science to be precise. So that's me.
Yes. If you haven't figured out already, that's my brother.
It's obvious.
All right then. Kome, can we get to meet you, please? Is your sound good now? The sound is not picking.
The network doesn't want that to network.
I
Why?
doubt. I doubt it. Oh, sorry, Kome. The sound is not picking. Okay, Kelechuku, can we have you? Kelechuku, can we have you?
We are short of time, so let's
Okay.
gonna.
Lydia, we see a Lydia there. Okay, we can hear you now. Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you now. We're wrapping up.
Okay. So I am I'm a physicist by course of study, and I am the community manager of Comet Cubes. So yeah, that's basically what I'm into. Nothing really, really too much. I'm a simple person, so I just that's just basically what I'm into.
That's
So
good.
yeah.
So Kelechuku is helping us manage Comet Minds, and he's been doing a great job. Currently, we're reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's the book of the month, or better still, the book of the period,
Wait, wait.
where we're learning to also develop ourselves through our habits. You can contact Kelechuku to join the Comet Minds community for your professional, personal, and business growth and development. So, Lydia, are you there?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sorry, I'm not yet comfortable with turning my camera on. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, so my name is Shibong Lydia. I'm a recent graduate of geology from University of Jos. And okay, my skills. I am still trying to perfect my skills in blogging and then data analysis. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, it's great to meet all of you. I believe we've all heard what all of us can do. And in fact, from this, I'm thinking we can put together a networking session where we can come talk about ourselves, get to do virtual
Yeah.
networking. So, Kelechuku, please see how we can put that together, okay? And see how
It's
we.
what sorry for cutting you. It's worthy of notes that we have a lot of geologists in the house.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
Ah,
yeah.
it seems we do.
I'm also a geography and planning graduate of Kogi State University. So we are related somewhat. You get so I think the networking session will be very much
No
important
problem.
to that
Put it
regard.
together then.
Right.
Sadly, our time is up, and this would go anytime soon. But thank you for joining the space. I'm going to share notes on the community group. Please contact Kelechuku or contact me so that we can add you to the group. Okay? Thank you for joining us today. Next time we'll do it again. And ciao.
Ciao.
Bye bye. One name make us. Now wash.